What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Regardless of what you think about the PvE aspects of House of Wolves, it's hard not to get excited about the PvP side of things. So right now, Iron Banner is live, and I gotta say, I think this is the best Iron Banner experience I've had so far with Destiny. The way they have limited the amount of special weapon ammo that's available has really fundamentally changed the way the Crucible is played, and I think it's for the better. You're getting a lot less shotgun usage. You can still get a shotgun, you can still use your shotgun, but you're not seeing people use it as their primary anymore. You're not seeing people just roll with Fellwinter's Lie, jumping all over the place like crazy people. The game, to me, has taken on a more tactics-heavy way of playing, and I think that's mainly due to the fact that they kind of pulled back on how much special ammo is available. And I think it's a great change. I think this right now is the best that Destiny's PvP has ever been, and it's about to get a lot better. So we know about Trials of Osiris. Everybody's very excited about this. I, for one, I think it's going to really be a unique and fun way to play Destiny. But IGN also came out and reported a bunch of things that we didn't know were getting changed inside the Crucible. So I'm going to link that article down below. I'm also going to read real quick what those changes are going to be, and then we'll have a little bit of a discussion about them afterwards. So first up, Crucible marks and rep are doubling across the board. So after the House of Wolves drops, whenever you compete in a Crucible event, you'll get double the amount of marks that you would normally and double the amount of reputation. That's awesome. It's always been a much slower way of progressing your character to play Crucible than to play PvE. Hopefully, by doubling the amount of marks and rep you get, that will change now. I'm actually really excited about this, as are a ton of PvP-only players out there. Next up, there are 12 new legendary items that can drop in the Crucible. So we don't know what these guys are. We don't know if they're going to be available in the Crucible and in PvE, or if the only way to get them is through Crucible. My suspicion is that this is going to be spread out between ships, shaders, weapons, armor, all that kind of stuff. But what my hope is that this stuff will only be available by competing in the Crucible. So it'll be just another way to customize your character and kind of show the story of your character through the gear that you have. Next, Crucible rewards have doubled in their frequency, and the better you play, the more likely the reward. So I'm a little torn on this one. I don't know that it's really that good idea that the rich get richer all the time and the guys at the bottom end kind of never get anything. We'll have to see how this actually works. I want to encourage even poor players to continue playing Crucible by giving them rewards. So I'd hate to see that, like, the last player on the leaderboard never gets anything and the top guy always gets a legendary. We'll have to see how this works out, but it could be good, it could be a little bad. We'll have to see how it goes. Next up, Dark Below Crucible maps will soon be free to all. This is brilliant. One of the biggest problems with releasing multiplayer maps in DLC is that it segregates your community. It splits up your player base. So that's going to make the players who like playing PvP in Destiny but didn't spring for the Dark Below very happy. But it should make everybody very happy, because instead of having a segmented player base, basically in 3 segments, you'd have vanilla Destiny players, you'd have Dark Below only Destiny players, and you'd have House of Wolves players. Now, instead of having 3 segments, or possibly more, you'll have 2 again. You'll have the guys who have the Dark Below stuff, and the guys who have the Dark Below stuff and the House of Wolves stuff. So you're keeping it to just 2 segments, which I think is brilliant by Bungie. I hope they continue to do this. I hope that the next DLC will make the House of Wolves maps free for everybody. I think that's really a good idea. So next up, the Trials of Osiris matchmaking will choose connection over skill. So instead of having skill-based matchmaking like we currently have in Destiny, instead you're just going to get match made based on who has the best connection to you. And that is awesome. That is basically the holy grail for anybody who's played online shooters in the last few years. You know, Call of Duty's not doing that anymore. Destiny wasn't doing it. Nobody was doing it. So this is really great news. and it should make our online experience in the Trials of Osiris much better. There will be an elimination mode you can play all the time. So similar to the Trials of Osiris, you can play that game mode without necessarily having to compete in the Trials of Osiris. Maybe you just want to kind of get used to the game mode before you start spending money on passages. Who knows what you want to do with that, but it will be available outside of the Trials of Osiris. So it's just one more way you can spend your time in Destiny. And finally, the last little bit of news here, completing the daily Crucible objective will give you a reward package that will contain passage coins for items that will help in Trials of Osiris, Glimmer, Motes of Light, and more. So this is really cool. The daily objective inside the Crucible has basically been worthless. I think it gave you a very small experience increase for competing in it, but now there's going to be all sorts of good stuff that can come with it. And you know, that's great. Getting passage coins in that manner, I think, is a really brilliant way of doing it. And I'm really excited with all these changes that Bungie's been making. I think that right now, the Crucible is better than it's ever been. It feels more balanced. It feels more fun. The lack of special ammo, I think, was brilliant on Bungie's part, because instead of everybody just complaining about Fellwinter's Lie, including me, all the time, you know, you still get killed by Fellwinter's Lie, but it's not nearly as frequent, and it feels like a more strategic game now. And I think that's really where I'd like to see Destiny go in the future. I'm really happy with the changes they've made, but I'm really looking forward to the changes they are making. And clearly, Destiny has an eye on making this game as good in a PvP setting as it can be. We even know that Bungie is looking at making private matches an option inside of Destiny. Now, we haven't heard them confirm this. They kind of announced it in a similar type of way that they said, well, we're looking at making more vault space. We know that they actually did make more vault space. We don't know if the private matches are going to happen, but hopefully they would, because that would go a long way toward making Destiny a kind of a competitive environment, something that could be played on high levels like MLG or that kind of a thing. And I, for one, would love to see that. I'm a big fan of watching competitive video games being played, especially games that I really enjoy. And Destiny, you know, it's a fun game to watch. There's so many options as far as loadouts go, as far as weapons go, armor, perks, abilities, you know, all sorts of stuff. It'd be really fun to see what the best in the world are using and what strategies they find successful. Trials of Osiris is a perfect option for that. Tell me you wouldn't like to see the best in the world fight each other in the Trials of Osiris. Ultimately, though, the future of Destiny is really in Bungie's hand, and I gotta give them credit right now. I feel like they're making leaps and strides to make this game a better environment for everybody. And yeah, a lot of people on the PvE side are really upset that there is no raid, but on the PvP side, it's hard to find anybody who's upset about what's going on in Destiny right now. All the changes they made, the changes they're promising, the new game modes, you know, everything is just pointing at this game has a real future. And, you know, at this point, Bungie really seems to be listening to the community, which I think is important, because it's the community who's going to tell them what they like, what they don't like, and that's really going to shape the future of Destiny in the years to come. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the PvP side of Destiny. Are you enjoying it? Do you only compete in it on Iron Banner weeks just to get the gear and just basically leave it alone the rest of the time? Are you happy about the changes they've made, and are you happy about the changes they've promised, or does that kind of stuff worry you more than get you excited? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.